We've
So
gotten to go to the
grateful.
Grammys 2 years, back to back, both times getting to walk the red carpet.
They don't know how important you are.
Right.
Or how important you aren't.
Right.
So they treat you like you are Billie Eilish.
Right.
So the whole time they're like, Anthony over here. Anthony, to your left.
I took a photo just being like smiling on the red carpet and Zed's fully like in the background.
I truly see Doechii just taking over the world. Like, it's just happening. She is unbelievable. If there's one performance from Grammy night that you
do this to
are
me.
so happy you were there for, what is it?
Woo! Woo! I still did it.
You did still do it.
I know. We were like, maybe we'll do like less of a woo because it's just the two of us today.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, hi, I'm Jonathan.
Hey, you guys. It's Anthony. It is a very special day.
Yes, it is.
Because it's just the two of us for the first time ever.
Yeah, we thought we just went to the Grammy Awards and we were like, that's a really cool thing, and wouldn't fit like in a 5-minute intro. So we thought like, let's just do like a little bonus-y kind of episode.
Guys, this is a bonus ep.
Bonus ep. Not to mention, I feel like a lot of our comments are like, love the podcast, don't really know who you two are though. Like,
I definitely saw someone say that, which is like, I understand. That's real. That's
Yeah.
real. So hopefully, you can find out more about us today.
yeah, and hopefully you like us.
Or in our 11 other episodes that we have here on the channel.
Go back and watch those. Those are pretty good.
But before we dive into the Grammys,
Yes.
because y'all, it was just the most insane year
so
for the
good.
Grammys ever.
Counter-Melodies. Oh, yeah. Counter-Melodies.
Before we dive in, I think it's only appropriate that we do a quick Super Bowl recap.
Right.
Mind you, we're filming this the day before the Super Bowl.
Right, and how much knowledge? A scale from 1 to 10. Like 10 is like super fan of football. 1 is you've never watched. 0 is you never watched a day in your life. What kind of fan are you?
So can I tell you this thing? This
Yeah,
has been
yeah.
a thing all my life.
Yeah, tell me.
I never watched football like the entirety of the season. My brother and my dad are both very, very into it, right? And I'll go the whole season without watching a single game. And then when the Super Bowl comes around, I am locked in. Every year. I care so much about it. I'm like with everybody standing up, like watching at the screen. I become one of those. Only on Super Bowl
Why?
Sunday.
Why and how?
Why? Because I think I just get caught up in the excitement of like everybody else
That's
being
fair.
so into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And something that I actually really love is being in a household that's like divided of like who they're supporting. You know what I mean?
Is that the situation in your family?
Oh, it's the situation of what I'm doing this Sunday.
Oh, no.
I'm actually going to show up as a part of the Chiefs crew. There's like a couple of us who are there for the Chiefs,
Right.
but then my friend's family, Casey, shout out, they're like big Eagles fans.
Ooh, the band?
Right, the band.
Right.
But they're big. They're big for the birds. They love
Okay.
it. So, but my prediction is that I think the Chiefs are going to take it once again. I think we're in an era of Taylor being their good luck charm, and it's just going to happen. And here we are. So, congrats to the Chiefs. I'm just saying it so confidently.
So congrats to the Chiefs. Yeah,
Right, congrats
absolutely.
to the
We can do
Chiefs.
another one. Congrats to the Eagles, and then we can just like edit in the correct one. You know what I mean? But on a scale from 1 to 10, though, that sounds maybe like a 2.5.
Oh no! As far as like actually being a football fan, I'm like a 2,
Okay,
but it's okay.
cool. I would say I'm probably a 1.5.
Okay.
Only because I went to Florida State and they're very serious about football. So I did go to a lot of games while I was at college.
Are you watching the game on Sunday?
Probably
No,
not. Probably
why?
not. I just don't get into it. Like when I say I went to the games, I drank a lot, tailgated, was barely present for the games.
But it's fun. It's fun to like follow it.
I believe you, and like, listen, like if I got like an invite to some like cool hang, like maybe I would go, but
Sure.
I'm not gonna like seek out and like invite myself to Super Bowl things because I just don't care that much.
I feel like your friends aren't very football friendly people.
They're not the most.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's real.
No, and if they are, they're probably like, I'm just gonna go to like the local bar and like just like watch on the TV with some strangers. And that's just, I could get into it, but
Right.
Yeah,
No, I'm like Lewis makes buffalo chicken wing dip every year. It's like a thing.
that does sound good.
And we make it happen.
That's fun.
I did
I like
try for the first time ever last year. I tried a beer. Like I
Like an IPA, was it?
no, it was Miller Lite. And oh boy, did I not like it.
Yeah, I've never gotten into beers.
know.
And I there's like hoppy beers, I think, and hoppy.
What's hoppy?
Don't know.
Okay.
But I just know that I've tried a lot of different kinds of beers, and I'm always just like, it's not awful, but like,
Sure.
why would I drink it?
I feel
you know
that.
what I mean?
That's real.
But I don't mean to offend. We're probably like alienating our entire audience.
Right, all the beer drinkers out there.
Right.
Apologies to you guys.
So sorry.
But I don't know. I think this is another year of the Chiefs just killing it. That's what I feel like is going on here.
Yeah, there we go.
I think that's why Taylor wore red to the Grammys. And did you see the whole thing about the T? How the like she has like a lyric about something about like having your name on my upper thigh.
No.
And did you see how she had like this little piece of jewelry on her upper thigh that was a T?
That's fun.
For Travis.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
I mean, it could be for Taylor. Or T as in Troy. That's what it made me think of.
T as in Troy.
Do you not know?
Sorry.
Do you not know High School Musical 2?
Not well enough.
In the beginning of the second High School Musical movie, Troy puts a necklace on Gabriella that's a T. And she goes, T as in Troy? And everyone's like, obviously, like what else would it be? It looks just like the T that was on Taylor's dress.
It probably was a High School Musical callback. Honestly,
Right.
It probably was an Easter egg. She's going to do a big High School Musical collaboration album next.
I would do anything for that.
Could you imagine?
We need to bring back High School
By
Musical.
the way, this is how I would say 80% of our conversations go. It's Anthony says something as if I should absolutely know it. Like it's the most common thing in the world.
Everybody knows T as in Troy.
I believe you, but nonetheless, this is how all the conversation. And then it just goes, oh, sorry, microphone. Then it just goes, oh, that's what happens.
Yeah, I get embarrassed for you. Anyway, Grammys?
Grammys.
Well, let's get into it.
Was there any other predictions about the Super Bowl?
I think that's all I have.
Okay, I think they'll run some yards.
That will definitely happen.
The line of scrimmage, I believe, still exists, unless it's been outlawed, and because that happens, right? And then I'm sure Kendrick will be great.
Right.
The end.
That's it.
That's all I got.
Beautiful.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. We're rooting for the Chiefs, I guess. I mean, okay. We'll move past it. We'll move past it. But I feel like I identify with Patrick Mahomes because it's really nice to have some representation for people who also have Kermit-like speaking voices. Like, I'm not the only one. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Have you ever heard him talk?
No.
It's very Kermit-y.
Do you think you're Kermit-y?
Yes. I get told that all the time.
Really?
Yes. People are always like, why does he sound like a Muppet?
Can you do like a Kermit? Oh. Well,
it's just me. I just sound like a Muppet.
Hey, if the Muppets are listening,
I would love to be a Muppet. Anyway,
right?
The Grammys?
The Grammys. Okay, that's what we're actually here for today.
Let's do it. Let's run through our Grammys time.
Okay, so we're so lucky. I feel like we have to preface this entire conversation with like grateful. In the words of Christina Perri, no greedy spirits here.
That is my favorite line from the Counter-Melodies podcast is Christina Perri talking about how when she got 1,000 Years put in the Twilight movie, she was like, I was telling myself, like, don't have a greedy spirit. And we quote that all the time now.
Yep. So in the spirit of not having greedy spirit, I want to kick this off by saying like, we're so incredibly lucky. We've gotten to go to the Grammys 2 years back to back, both times getting to walk the red carpet.
Been so sick.
Half of me is like, oh, okay, like that's amazing, that's cool. Like I guess that makes sense. The other half of me is still like, what?
Yeah.
How are we here? Like
it's really cool when you're there. I think like people don't really understand. I mean, I say that just because I didn't understand until I did it. Like what the red carpet really is like.
It's so much. Did you think it was like in the venue?
I don't know what I thought, but basically to run it down for everybody, you pull up to like this little, it's like a giant tent.
It's like it's like a circus tent.
Yeah, it's like a giant circus tent right outside of the arena, and you pull up and there's a big sign that says like welcome to the 67th Grammy Awards.
With a big golden Grammy this year out front.
Yeah, big golden Grammy.
Well, okay, last year we don't know what it normally is because not this year but this past year, it was torrential downpour. And we were sitting in traffic for like 2 hours last year, and by the time we got there it was just like a mad dash to the finish line 15 minutes before it started. So we don't know what normally happens, but this year at least there was a big giant golden Grammy to welcome you.
It was amazing. And we went on in and basically, thankfully we had somebody there kind of escorting us through because it is absolute madness.
Yes.
It's just insane.
It's a free for all.
Yeah. When you pull up, there's like, there's a lot of press right away doing interviews.
Yeah.
And then kind of opportunities to take your own photos. So it was mainly people doing iPhone photos or photos with their own cameras.
There's probably like 3 of the big kind of like iconic Grammy backgrounds.
Yeah.
With like 10 feet in between each of them.
Right.
And then on the other side, like behind, not a gate, that sounds like a velvet rope kind of deal.
Yeah.
Are press people. You got like E-News and
all of them.
And so on and so forth.
And so on and so, like Sirius XM and like those guys.
Shout out to Davis and John Paul, who we met, who were doing that this year on the carpet.
It's amazing.
So there's like 3 of those big backdrops, and like it's a free for all. Like everyone that's on there is either like producer, artist, or an engineer, someone that's like up for an award. Like I just was like next to like Kelly O'Hara, who's like a big Broadway actress, and I got to talk to her.
My favorite is the selfie that you took where Zed was in the background.
Accent, we'll show you guys on the screen, but I took a photo just being like smiling on the red carpet, and Zed's fully like in the background.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like just madness, people running around. So thankfully we were escorted through. We took a bunch of pictures in front of those iconic backdrops with the gold Grammys on it.
Not together, of course.
Listen,
how did we? What happened?
I was trying to make it happen. I was like, John, we should probably get a picture together. Then we just didn't.
It was, in some ways it was less chaotic than last year because there wasn't the rain. There wasn't like you have 10 minutes to get in. But there was also, this year we went in a group and we tried to stay together as a group. But when you're in a group with like an escort, you're blocking the way.
Yeah.
So a few times they were like, okay, let's go to the next one. Like we have to keep moving.
Yeah.
So I feel like there wasn't as much space to be like, actually, we are going to stay behind and we're going to take a photo together.
No, that's real. But it was really cool. We had a great time. And then right before the end of the carpet is where the real exciting part is. The end of the carpet is kind of, it's I think they technically call it the press area.
Yeah.
And this is like where, the Getty Images is like all of the photographers.
There's like 40 photographers.
There's so many.
For everything.
And then the Glambot.
And Glambot with Cole.
Who is fantastic and we love. But this was the first time that we did that section because last year they had it closed off.
Yeah, to non-nominations.
People who weren't nominated. So this year we got to like do the little press area. It's really cool because when you go into the press area, they write your name on a whiteboard and then they hold it up for all the photographers.
And they all take a photo of that first and then your picture.
And then the photographers, they all know your name, which is just so funny. And it's hilarious because they don't know how important you are.
Right.
Or how important you aren't.
Right.
So they treat you like you are Billie Eilish.
Right.
So the whole time they're like, Anthony over here. Anthony, to your left. I'm just like...
this is like the Make-A-Wish feel like a star for the day experience.
I'm like, I appreciate y'all taking these pictures, but you don't realize I am not Billie Eilish the way you think I am.
I mean, you looked just like Billie Eilish that day.
Thank you so much.
I know. Is that the new one?
That's what I was.
It's been I Want to Be Ariana. Then it was
right.
Who else has it been?
I don't know. I said I wanted to look like Ariana Grande, and now I could say I want to look like Billie Eilish.
There we go. There you go. But yeah, there were some other cool people on the carpet. Did you talk to anybody on the carpet? I was weirdly outgoing this year.
You you were really outgoing this year. Tell me about you speaking to Casey Musgraves, please, because that was.
I think it was less speaking to her and more just speaking at her. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, there's 2 Grammy ceremonies. Mm-hmm. The first one happens at 12:30. It's the premiere ceremony. It's in the theater attached to the arena, and it's for all the untelevised awards. So there's Best Arrangements, Engineering Awards,
which Jacob Collier and Tori Kelly won.
Friends of the Kitchen.
Friends of the Kitchen. They won the Best Arrangement, I think instrumental or a cappella.
Yeah.
And of course, we knew.
Yeah,
we just
were
knew.
hoping.
The day before we filmed with them, we were like, well, congrats on the Grammy, guys.
I mean, but what's cool is that we also had another one of our kitchen friends up for the same award. Wasn't that Scott's?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was kind of cool because it was there's a 50, at this point there's 2 out of 4 shot that one of our friends is going to win this award.
Amazing. I'm so happy for all of them.
So anyway, there's the premiere ceremony. So a lot of the artists are in both of the ceremonies. So Casey was nominated. I think she also won for The Archer for not best song, maybe country song of the year. I'm
Probably,
not sure.
yeah.
And so,
but that was in the early awards.
It was in the early awards.
Right.
So she has 10 minutes to get through. We got there hours. We didn't go to the premiere ceremony. So I turned my shoulder. I'm like, that's fucking Casey Musgraves. That's Casey Musgraves. And I'm a huge fan. Golden Hour is one of my favorite albums ever. I remember when Justified, her album after that came out. Wait, Star-Crossed. Oh my gosh. Starcross came out.
Wow.
Justified's one of my favorite songs on Starcross.
Fake fan.
Little Justified. Anyway, and I turn around, I'm like, that's Casey. And so I was like, I have to say something. And I wasn't expecting like, let's have a chat. So I was just like, I'm sorry to bother you, but you're beautiful and I love everything that you do.
That is not true. You did not say I'm sorry to bother you. You looked right at her and you went,
I think I said, I'm sorry, but you're beautiful and you look beautiful.
That is not how I recall the story. I wish we could roll the tapes back. Here's what I remember.
Don't embarrass me. Oh no.
Here's what I remember. We're just standing there, right? And I didn't even see Casey. I like not even after you said this. I hear you behind me go, "You're beautiful, you're perfect, and I love everything you do." Just like that. That is how you did it.
Probably.
I swear. And I look at you and I go, what was that? Who was that? And you go, it was Casey Musgraves. I was like, oh my God.
And I'm pretty sure, now here's the thing. She had 10 minutes to get into the main venue.
That's
and
right.
she's like, going back to like the red carpet conversation, like she is Billie Eilish. You know what I mean? Like she is the moment. She is
Right.
one of the moments, unlike us who are just grateful to be there.
Well, I mean, I would consider us a moment, but
Listen, a good one? I'm just,
definitely a moment.
So I know she was busy. She was focused. She was like, her stylist was like making the dress look good again, touching up the makeup. So like, this was not the moment for me to be like, you're beautiful and perfect and I love everything you do.
But you did.
But I did because I don't know why. Wasn't drinking at that point. So it was just, I don't know. So she was just kind of like, thanks. And then I was like, turned around because I was like, what else am I going to say?
I don't know, but it was great.
It was still, like, I still get to say I talked to Casey Musgraves.
You talked at her for sure.
I saw her in the flesh. Like that's
she definitely heard your voice speaking.
that is true. Yes.
Right.
No, I was acting like the mayor of the red carpet. Like I went up to like Drew Afuelo as well, and probably scared the living crap out of her.
Right.
Like, you know Drew, right? Like, you know
Yeah.
her stuff. Like, she also is taking a break right now from social media because people are, horrible on the internet to her. And so probably me going like, and pointing at her when I was trying to be like, hey, we're mutual. Like, that was the vibe, but I'm pretty sure I probably just looked at it as like, I have a bone to pick with you.
I'm glad you also see it this way. I'm not trying to read you or anything, but I definitely, on the day of, I was like, yeah, he's talking to lots of people this year. Like you were making your rounds.
I was trying to like take in more of the moment than last year.
Okay.
Like I wanted to be a little less like stay hidden, stay quiet, just like, and instead of embrace the fact that like we have a lot more friends now that like are either on the red carpet as performers or as not reporters, journalists of some sort.
Yeah.
Correspondents. Correspondents.
Right.
And I was like, the only way that you keep nurturing these relationships is to continue to like say hi to people and like
saying you're beautiful, you're perfect, and I love everything you do to Casey
that one
Musgraves.
was me just being a fan. That was just being a fan.
I love it.
And then we got to do the glam bots again, which was always fun.
The glam bot was so fun. I was really extra nervous about the glam bot this year because last year we did our glam bot together, and we got to do that part of the like press area last year, which was cool because of your friendship with Cole.
Yeah.
So we did it last year, and I got so nervous that I was gonna mess it up. So I just kind of did nothing.
No, you did like
last year. I like grabbed the lapel of my suit, and I just pushed my hands together a little bit and smiled.
But that is like the most common overcorrection is people are like, oh, it's so slow, like make small movement.
Right. But this time, okay. I'm not stoked about mine this time. It's not amazing. However, it's an improvement.
Absolutely.
I like did this little thing. I like adjusted. I turned around. I adjusted my bow tie, and I think it came out fine.
It did.
Like good enough.
Yeah,
good enough.
And listen, I think also like we each had the confidence to do it by ourselves this year,
right? Which was fun.
That's a step up.
No, that's real.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But no, it's cool. Like that last year, I DM'd Cole ahead of time because I met Cole 5 years ago through my friend Emily Brimlow, and it was
first and last
name. Well, she's also an artist. Go stream her music. And we went to this little, I think it was like a taco restaurant in Venice Beach. And she was like, yeah, my friend Cole, he's like a photographer. He's done stuff with like Selena Gomez for Pantene. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then like a year later, Glambots exploded.
He's just the Glambot
guy. And then I
yeah.
was like, well, like I'm trying, like we've spent a lot of time over the last 2 years, like DMing a lot of our favorite artists or their management teams or whoever it is, just trying to like get people to come, be a part of our series. So I feel like we worked really hard to like get more comfortable with like rejection and like, you if you don't ask, you don't get anything. Right. So I DM'd Cole last year and I was like, hey, like, is there any shot if we're on the carpet you would do this? And he was like, as long as you're on the main carpet, just come say hi.
Nice.
And it was cool. Like I always assume people are going to forget like that they've met me before. And then like this year.
You are pretty forgettable. Yeah.
And it was nice because this year it was like he like waved at us and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
He was very sweet.
Yeah.
I know. He probably was pretending, but I went up to him and I was like, hey, it's so good to see you again.
I'm sure because, you know, though I'm really forgettable, you were with me, so he remembered.
Right. That's how this works.
Right.
As long as I'm with you, people know who I am.
Honestly, though, I think it's the reverse. Whenever I'm with you, I feel like we are Billy and Phineas.
I'm fine with that. Who am I?
Billy.
Because that's fair.
Yeah, of course.
Only because of the oversized clothes.
But you know what? Like, as much as I love Billy, I think I would vibe with Phineas a lot.
You're like, as much as I love Billy, like, Phineas is just like the brain behind the whole thing. So that's why he's me.
Stop. No, but I do appreciate that Phineas is very cerebral and is like he can speak about the music, the production style, all those things so well.
Well, speaking of Billy and Phineas, I feel like we should probably get into the show a little bit.
We probably should. One of the first things that happened actually when we got into the venue today, on the day of, was we ran into Jacob Collier's manager, who, funny enough, 8.5 years ago, I was an intern for Quincy Jones Productions, and they had a management company which had Jacob. So Jacob's manager, or the president of the management company now, I was his intern.
Yeah.
8.5 years ago, I picked Jacob up in a car to take him to his first album release party.
So cool.
And then in the same week, not only was it I got to reconnect with the manager and Jacob remembered the exact day that it was, which of course he did.
That was so funny. Like you're like, yeah, Jacob, I don't know if you remember me. Like I picked you up from the airport. I was your intern. And he was like, oh yes, it was this date at this time for this album. And I was like, sick.
It was June 27th and you took me to the YouTube space. And I was like, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. I'm like, I thought my memory was like very like I remember what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, he crazy beat me on that. But yeah, so I got to connect with him again, with Jacob again after 8.5 years. And then I think the kicker of all of it was the Quincy Jones tribute this year.
Right, which is, how crazy is that?
And that's like the reason I moved to LA 7 days after I graduated for the Quincy Jones Productions management team.
It's such a full circle. Like,
so
that's amazing.
So full circle. And then during the tribute, I mean, we're kind of jumping out of order here, but Jacob sang with Lainey Wilson, and Lainey Wilson is another friend of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So it was just like this weird, I was deeply emotional. I texted my dad about it, and he was like, I figured you might have been like a little tipsy because of the emotion. And I was like, I wept last year at Joni Mitchell. Like, there's always a moment.
Yeah, and
that breaks me.
You crying this year had nothing to do with you drinking.
It could not have had anything to do with the open bar that we had at 1:30 and the awards started at 5 o'clock. There is no world where that was related.
It was. But anyway, the tribute was beautiful. I loved the whole thing. Janelle Monáe.
Oh my God.
Cynthia Erivo.
Herbie Hancock, I believe, was playing in the beginning with Stevie Wonder.
Oh, Stevie Wonder. Oh my gosh. It was unbelievable. That section was beautiful. What were some of your like highlight performances from the Grammys?
Oh my God.
If you had to say, actually, you know what? I'm going to make it even more. Like, if you had to just say one, if there was one performance from Grammy night that you are so happy you were there for, what is it?
Pink Pony Club.
Wow. Whoa.
I mean, the tribute, obviously we just talked about it. So like removing the tribute, which is like 10 performances in one, like that was an epic performance of Pink Pony Club.
Dope.
But there's so many good things. Like I have another, but you go.
Okay, for me,
if you say my other one,
I probably am. My highlight of the entire night was the Best New Artist compilation performance. That was.
I was gonna say Doechii was like definitely top 3 moment.
Of course, y'all. This is a prediction. I mean, I guess it's already happening, but like I truly see Doechii just taking over the world. Like it's just happening. She is unbelievable.
So fucking good.
I think she's like bringing a whole new life to music. Like I'm like so stoked by what she's doing right now.
Yeah.
But that whole compilation, everybody, Benson Boone killed it as usual. And then right into Doechii, which like was actually life-changing.
Yeah.
It was actually insane. And then Teddy, who we love, and we got to interview
Ray.
for the Grammys. And then Ray, just to close it all off, like I It was such a good year for new artists.
Absolutely. And I also feel like the awards, the show itself this year was so strong because there were 2 more Best Artist nominations. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But they knew, because they were not super poppy, put them in different parts of the show.
Yeah.
So they didn't like set anyone up to not look good. And I was like great.
It's really cool. I think the Grammys have been taking care of their Best New Artist classes a lot lately.
Yes.
Which I think is really special because the Grammys have a lot of power and influence. You know, a lot of people watch it. I think 20 million people watched it this year.
Wow.
You know, like people are really paying attention. That's not to mention like TikTok clips and all that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think really platforming the Best New Artist class, as they call it, is a really special thing. Were there any awards, like people who did acceptance speeches that you were just like, this feels right, or like this is extra emotional? Did you have any of those moments?
Okay, my extra emotional moment was less so in the awards and more in the tribute, which I think we already we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But that moment was probably when I got the most emotional. My dad actually texted me back and was like, "Are you drinking? Like, is that why you're emotional?" I was like, "No, I would have been sobbing anyway. Thank you."
Right. No, it had absolutely nothing to do with the open bar.
But as that opened at 1:00 and the show started at what time? 5?
5, yeah.
5,
No,
right.
6. No,
5.
You're right.
30?
No, you're right.
Meet in the middle. Anyway, but as far as like winners of awards, what did you just ask? You asked,
I said, were there any like
good ones?
acceptance speeches that really got you?
Oh, Chapel's for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
And I didn't know. I think everyone knew, like, if she gets an award, she's going to say something.
Okay. Well, she said that. She said in an interview years ago that if she wins a Grammy ever, that she would call people out.
Okay. Now, see, I was expecting it because she's been so outspoken for the LGBT community. Right. I thought it was going to be something in that direction. So I was particularly like, huh? As soon as it was about like the industry itself. And what's even crazier is at that moment, we were hanging out with some people that were in the industry, like not as artists. So it was definitely like an extra moment of like, it's getting warm in here. Like, who? But good for her. I think she made the right decision to do that.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting moment to like in person witness the moment of her putting her Grammy Award on the ground to finish her speech.
And I love that she did it scared. Like, I feel like you could see like that notebook was shaking.
She was nervous.
And I'm like, the fact that she went out there anyway and did it, and she has a lot to lose now. You know what I mean? Like 6 months ago, a year ago, it's like, it was what it was. Now it's like her entire career is on the line and she's still doing that.
You know, I got really emotional watching Doechii win this year. Because I know I said I like she's gonna take over the industry. I just feel it coming. Like she's incredible. But you could tell it really meant something to her. Yeah. You know, and I got chills and I cried.
Totally.
And very similarly to how I cried during the in memoriam section.
Oh.
Yeah. And I really loved how they showcased Liam Payne and his impact, you know, like showing the fans. And I think it was like a little moment of him like doing a little heart to them, right? Is that what they showed? And it was just so beautiful. And like everybody in the arena, you could tell like the applause that went off for him, you know?
Yeah. And I feel like the air kind of sucked out of the room at that moment. It was
absolutely.
There's something very unsettling when you see like a young person's face during the in memoriam, especially someone that was so beloved.
Heartbreaking. But something I will say, this is, I guess, a little insider if people don't know at home. During the commercial breaks, we actually don't get to watch the commercials as people attending the awards. Instead, they just kind of play a song, either one that was nominated or a remix or something over the loudspeaker of the arena. And right after the in memoriam section, they played Story of My Life, One Direction. And that just got me extra. I was like, why are you doing this to me right now?
Yeah, that was
heartbreaking.
That was hard. Actually, did you know that apparently it was like a thing this year that people didn't realize the Grammys were held in a big arena?
It's crazy.
They thought it was like a fancy ballroom. And I get it because like the ground floor is like ballroom.
It's ballroom adjacent. Yeah.
But yeah, like especially in moments like that, like when you can feel the weight of 15,000 people. Like you're like, no, this is a huge room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was so heartbreaking, that whole thing, but it was really beautiful to see people, you know, coming together and celebrating him and the lives of so many others, you know?
Yeah.
But something that is also interesting that has to do with commercials on the Grammys.
Okay.
I was I had a group chat with like all my like best friends, and we were doing like a live update chat, and I'm a couple seconds ahead of them because watching it in person, the broadcast is a little bit delayed, you know, in case people like say inappropriate things or do anything crazy, you know, that kind of vibe. But during the commercial is when the debut of Abracadabra by Lady Gaga happened.
Yes, it was.
And we were not watching the commercial, so we didn't know. We didn't know that was happening at all. So I was getting all these texts flooding in like, oh my gosh, Gaga, Anthony, I can't believe you're seeing Gaga. Like, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not seeing, I mean, I saw her perform, but I'm not seeing the debut of this song.
People thought it was a live performance, didn't they, for a minute?
I think so. Yeah, but it was a MasterCard commercial.
Right. Wait, did you see that on the red carpet? She was taking pictures and she was like, you know, giving her like serious face. Right. And someone said something like, it's like magic. And someone else was like, yeah, abracadabra. Ooh. Like, and you just see her whole face like light up. And then she goes right back to like, I'm a model.
Do you think they knew?
No. I really think it was
just chance.
I really think it was just chance.
They really just said
it. Yeah. Wow. I love that. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, we only have a couple minutes left, but I think it's only appropriate that we talk about album of the year.
Yeah. That was, I'm shocked it's a controversial award. Like I kind of like, there were other albums in that category that I probably listened to. No, not probably. I did. Like if I had a vinyl record of Short and Sweet, I would have, that would be hanging on by a thread at this point. Like that was my favorite album of the year from my personal enjoyment.
So Jonathan's album of the year is Short and Sweet.
Right. But I can fully acknowledge, as far as best album goes, cultural impact, moving the needle forward in the world, pushing yourself as an artist, Cowboy Carter. Yeah. 100%.
I think my album of the year, like yours, was probably Short and Sweet, or Sweetener by Ariana Grande, which did not get a nomination this year, weirdly.
Talk about a big snub.
I'm kidding.
No. For maybe not for album of the year, but pop vocal album?
No, I said Sweetener.
Oh.
Which is just always my favorite Ariana album. Sorry. I listen to it every time of the year, every year.
Yes. Eternal Sunshine wasn't nominated.
I know.
For anything, was it?
Eternal Sunshine. No, it was up for pop vocal album.
Okay, good. Also, speaking of, I think a snub, can we talk a little bit about like our good friend Teddy Swims?
I was disgusted. I
have no issue that he listen, Chaperone getting Best New Artist.
I agree.
Right. But like, no nomination for Lose Control. That's been on the Hot 100 for over a year. Still top 10. Still top 10.
Actually insane. I expected, like when nominations were coming out in November, I expected to see Lose Control all over that ballot.
Totally.
And Beautiful Things, Benson Boone.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
And like, I'm the first one to tell people like, the Grammys are not a popularity contest. That being said, those are both also phenomenal songs with phenomenal vocal performances from both of them.
I know.
Also, fun fact, did you know that Julian Bunetta, who did Lose Control, also did all the One Direction stuff?
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that fun?
Oh my God.
And I think also a bunch of Sabrina Carpenter songs. Could be crazy though.
I commented on Sabrina's picture when she posted like after the awards.
Did she
that
respond?
Had won. Yeah. Me and Sabrina just chilling.
Right.
No, but I commented and I just wrote finally, because I have been a fan of Sabrina for so long, and I really like. Emails I Can't Send deserved a pop vocal album nomination. Like like she should have received Grammy nominations prior to this year.
Feather.
Hello. Song of the year.
I know. It's a maybe record of the year.
Okay.
I think it was amazing.
Yeah.
I really love that song.
How did you feel about
great
song and record?
Oh.
Not as great?
Not as great, but here's the thing. That is not my genre of music. That's so right. I feel like when I was thinking about songs that like had a cultural impact, that's not where I have blinders in a way. So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it wasn't deserved, because no, it was a huge moment. It just wasn't the moment that I was tuned into the same way that I was to like Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, even a little bit less like Charlie XCX and Billie Eilish, who were, all incredible albums. And
yeah. There was definitely a sense of shock in the section surrounding us.
I would agree.
When he won, there was a lot of what? The kind of like verbal what? Yeah. But then also the song starts playing as he goes to accept the award, and the whole place sings along.
I will say, I think my only like hesitancy with that song getting the award is it is a diss track.
Yeah.
And I feel like, do we like establishing the precedent of like write a song taking a massive dump on another artist, and that's gonna get you a Grammy.
Cut to next year, it's all diss tracks.
Right, and like, and I also understand that like the pettiness makes the industry go around. Like Taylor Swift albums are about exit, like that's just normal. Like, so I don't know.
Listen, I expected Texas Hold'em, Birds of a Feather, or Espresso to get in both of those categories. I expected wins for those songs. So I was definitely surprised.
Yeah. I get that.
You know,
We've been to the Grammys now twice.
yeah.
Which year did you enjoy yourself more at?
Okay, I think it's tough. I was definitely way more nervous last year.
Oh, 100%.
Because it was the first time. But I think I liked this year more solely because of where we were seated. I really liked our area. We were up in like by the boxes,
right?
In like priority seating, whatever they call it. And it was so cool. Sorry, that sounded like a flex. Like, yeah, we were in priority seating.
Listen, we weren't on the floor. We weren't at the table with Jacob Collier.
I know, but something I was gonna say. The reason I liked my seat so much is because there was no world where I could look at the stage without seeing Jacob Collier's rainbow sequined jacket beforehand. So it was just like Jacob stage every single time that I was looking up. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
He was shining and shimmering.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay, so like as far as which year I enjoyed more, I definitely was more relaxed this year. And I feel like I could really like let go and like enjoy everything. But that's largely because last year we went with a brand, had an amazing time, but something that I'm not going to sit here and pretend like content creation is so hard. It's not. We're so lucky we get to do what we get to do. Right. But there is an element that when you are working with a brand and maybe you're doing like a vlog of like your whole experience, you don't know what's going to end up in that vlog. So the whole time you're kind of like an observer of your own life because you're always like walking around like recording every meal.
No, that's real.
Every time you walk in a room because you're like, what's going to be in here? And so you're not as much like living in the moment as you are observing the moment. And I feel like this year our job ended the second we walked into the ceremony. Yeah. And so like I was like, I can get a drink this year. Like I can, and there was an open bar, so I took advantage of that. And
you really said, try being an influencer for a day. That's what you said.
I would I'm not going to be. It's so hard. It's not. But as far as like enjoying events, if you are working it, you're not as in it.
It's very the camera eats first.
That,
you know, versus like living it as much. We got to live it more this year.
We got to live it more this year. Exactly. So I would say for that reason, I was more relaxed and I think I enjoyed myself. But then again, first year, you never get your first Grammy year.
I know. It's true.
You know what I mean?
You never get
your first Grammy
bag. And it's extra special when you are soaking wet.
That is really true.
That's what I always say.
It was, we were in that black, they got us that black Escalade. We were in there and we were like feeling like $1 million and they're like, we have no umbrellas.
And if you want to make the carpet, you have to go now.
Right. And walk about 4 blocks. So we're walking jackets over our heads.
Oh man.
It was great. And
it was amazing.
Like, it's the most perfect first Grammy Award story in the world.
Right.
But was it more calm this year?
Yeah. Way more calm.
70 degrees and sunny? Yeah.
All right, before we go,
yes,
because we only have a couple minutes, do you have any final Grammy takes?
I need Cynthia Erivo to be an EGOT winner by the end of this year.
That is not a Grammy take, but okay.
She performed at the Grammys.
Right, but
she was incredible.
That's an Oscars take.
Okay, then my take is...
Stay tuned for our Oscars
Here's my
recap.
take. Cynthia was so incredible, and she still needs to get an Oscar.
Amazing.
There we go.
That's perfect. Yeah, Cynthia was probably the best vocal of the night. It was flawless.
It was
everything. No, that's so hard to say, though, because there were so many incredible vocals that night.
But she gave us old Hollywood vocals.
Right. Yes.
With the Fly Me to the Moon, right? That's
yeah.
And I feel like that is a different kind of skill set.
Yeah.
And amazing.
That's
amazing.
Real. More Grammys for Cynthia, I'm sure, next year for Wicked.
And one more take. I love Doechii doing the face tape with the bedazzled piece that ties it all together. I love that. I love that look.
I just love Doechii.
I love everything she does.
That's my takeaway. My takeaway is Doechii's taking over the industry. It's happening, and we just are going to wait and see where she goes. Yeah. I see many more Grammys in her future.
Yeah, and Casey Musgraves is beautiful. I love everything that she does.
Yeah, Casey, if you're watching, just remember that you are beautiful, perfect, and Jonathan loves everything that you do.
Yeah. Yep.
Jonathan, real quick before we go, can you tell the kids where to find you?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'm at Okay. I'm at Jonathan Tilkin everywhere except for YouTube, where I'm at Jonathan Tilkin Official. Couldn't get Jonathan Tilkin.
Why? Who had it?
somebody else. Do you know there is another Jonathan Tilkin?
In this world?
Yes, he lives in Belgium.
Wow, I figured you'd be the only one.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel really bad for him. I feel like it can't be easy. Like, I'm not even like that well known on the internet, but like if you type in Jonathan Tilkin, you're not finding him. Oh. I feel bad.
Ouch.
No. I just mean like, I'm sure like he's like, oh, find me on Facebook or something. And then it's like 400 bot versions of me before they find him. Yeah. That's got to be really annoying.
I can imagine.
Like, I'm annoyed when I see the 400 bots talking as if they're me.
That's real.
Anyway.
We'll get into we'll get into another episode about why I think I could be the only Anthony Gargiula in the world.
Oh.
Because like there's a whole origin story with like my great grandparents changing the last name. Because the real last name is Gargiulo, and it's like so there aren't really many Gargiulas in the world. I feel like
wait, it's not Gargiula?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, y'all know where to find me. It is what it is. At Anthony Gargiula or underscore Anthony underscore Gargiula TikTok, of course.
Right.
Because I also couldn't get my own name on TikTok.
Also, please leave us ratings if you like the podcast. Which, by the way, if you're watching,
or if you don't, pretend you do and give it 5 stars.
That also helps too. But I like to think like if you're watching all 30 minutes of this episode today, like I would like to think that you like the podcast.
Are down, yeah.
And we're gonna start reading reviews as soon as we figure out where to find them. I see 15 reviews and they said 5 stars still. So
yes, leave us reviews, 5 stars.
Thank you so much for being here.
And we'll shout you out.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Counter-Melodies.
Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a moment from us.
See you soon.